Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to a new LIGHTSWORN support. Who would have expected this support in, 2024, I guess, whenever we will be getting this. So, a couple of new cards, and I've read the support, when was it released? Earlier today? Yeah, earlier today. And imagine these cards, being released back in, when was LIGHTSWORN top tier? Back in 2009, 2010? It would have made the deck borderline broken, especially for that time. For now, the support is fantastic, but it's not going to make the deck like top tier, the best deck. But there's potential because the cards are kind of fantastic. Again, as I mentioned before, a couple of effect monsters, a new fusion monster, which kind of needs both Judgment Dragons, so the light one, and the dark one, the Punishment Dragon. And I was a little bit against those in the main deck in the beginning, but eventually I was like, they are fine, because first of all they're searchable by this one, a new Dragon LIGHTSWORN, level 4, which can extend itself from the hand, a free level 4 on field if you have a LIGHTSWORN in the graveyard. Plus, if you special summon it, doesn't matter how, off of Dispater for example, or with its own effect, it becomes a Foolish Burial as well, so it foolishes Phillies, it foolishes Wolf, etc. So again, fantastic. Instant rank 4, instant level 8 synchro. And the other level 4 is Archfiend, which is a tuner, and it also has the capability to special summon itself from hand, and that's quite convenient, because that's something I guess LIGHTSWORN lacked in a consistent way, is stacking the top card of their deck, as in reveal your Archfiend, try to special summon it to the field, and then put one LIGHTSWORN in hand to the top of your deck. So Wolf, Phillies, the cards that you always open and draw into. So put them back on the top of the deck and then mill 2. So, one guaranteed mill being that Wolf or Phillies that you just stacked from your hand to the top of your deck, and then one random card, the second card. So, throughout testing, I started off with the Synchron package. I'm not so sure about that. You might have seen the combos going around with Synchron, the small Synchron package, level 7 Synchro play, level 8 Synchro play. It's okay, but it could create some awkward game situations where you would think that, okay, you could use a Synchron to potentially, put up an early Crystal Wing, for example, or, go for like one of the new level 8s here, or like a new Minerva, this one. But again, you're just playing into Nibiru if you're not going for, Crystal Wing. And Ancient Fairy Dragon, I feel, is not the best because you're not running any field spells. You could play the Pearl Areno, the Turtlement field spell for Sharon for more mills, but I guess you're adding in more bricks to the main deck, so I'm not a huge fan of that. So it kind of makes it, I'm not so sure, because again, as you saw in my current build, what is it, 42, 43 cards? That's a lot, and and this is without the Synchron package. So I'm like, for me, I think like 42, 43, even 44 might be the sweet spot, especially because of the Bestial package and also the mills, right? Like Minerva and the other mills. You want to mill your Wolf, your Phillies, etc. And on top of that, not all the LIGHTSWORNs trigger when they are milled at random. As like Phillies, for example, what is it, triggers when it's milled by a monster effect? I think so, yeah. Minerva, the Ishizu cards, the Shufflers, fantastic, instant staple for the deck. So the end boards, as you just saw, like these end boards for this deck, it's ridiculously easy, and it's using the same strategy as Joshua used in Bologna. So go for like Baron, potentially Crimson Dragon to cheat out Dispater, but again, the Bestials are there to go for Dispater as well. That's setup plus IP, for Little Knight, banish a card from your opponent, and then as soon as your opponent uses one of their effects, you can use your Little Knight, banish itself, and, your own Baron as well to reset its effect. So, insane combo. Plus, if you have regained on the field to continue a spell, you could potentially send back an opponent's banished monster back to their deck to draw one. So again, sick combo, really sick. And of course the Bestials, like it kind of makes this deck like a 2024 Twilight build. LIGHTSWORNs from back in the day, Twilight, who remembers that one? Chaos Saucer, Tragodia, stuff like that. But now the hand traps are there with Bestials. Going second is a bigger problem. As you saw, the the deck for now is basically full gas plus Ash as an only interruption, of course the Bestials, but as you know, like, the stronger the Bestials are in a particular format, so when it's like light and or dark heavy, the Bestials are, very powerful, but now looking at the format of, at least, end of the current TCG format, fire decks are running rampant, so the Bestials are kinda iffy. Especially going first, it's fine, but going second, that's where the problem is, or could be. So the deck needs some tweaks. Was maybe main decking or testing thrusts, talents. I'm not so sure about thrust. Talents might be better, again because of those potential mills. But other than that, I'm not so sure if you really want to run a lot of non-engine cards. But these were just far too many interruptions, right? Like, no way. At least maybe I missed something, but I'm not so sure about that. Again, going first, this is super easy. And with those, at least with the potential Synchron package, okay, it could open up a potential Synchro play, Crystal Wing play on summon number 5. Because of potential Nip, right? Nibiru is strong, but I'm not so sure if the Synchron package is needed. Because again, going for Baron on summon number 5 or 4 for this deck, it's not that hard, right? Especially with the Bestial package and all of the new support, it's so easy to pump out level 10 Synchros. So the new Minerva is level 8, which is fine. You can, when she's summoned, send, what is it, up to the same amount of Lightsworns from your deck to the graveyard, up to the amount of Lightsworns used for the Synchro materials. So most of the time it's either 1 or 2, so it's a big Foolish Burial, plus her on-field effect, you can banish Lightsworns from the graveyard to mill the same amount of cards you just banished. That banish effect could be important. I think it's this replay or the next one. I think it's the next one. Because of Punishment Dragon, and like having, let's say, if you're able to mill Lubellion or discard Lubellion, and maybe you even need a dark on-field, then Punishment Dragon actually comes into play. As you saw in the extra deck, they also got a new fusion. The new fusion is iffy. The biggest deal with this is that you could potentially end your board with Bestial, like this field, right? So Little Knight, Dispater, Baron, and of course potentially the fusion, because again it's not that hard. You can banish a JD on your field and Punishment Dragon from grave, which is again super easy to put that fusion on board. The biggest deal breaker for me for that particular setup with the fusion here is you could use a fusion effect, what is it, pay 2k, and then banish all cards on field and in both players' graveyard. So it kind of nukes your setup of your Brandon spells and traps. I guess maybe for last resort, or I think the one of JD and the one of Punishment Dragon, I guess is fine, because it's searchable, big beat sticks, rank 8 Exceed plays, level 12 Synchro plays, so they're there. So I think they are needed. They're also searchable off of the new dragon, but it still feels a bit iffy. Do you really want that 15 spot in your precious extra deck being that fusion? I'm not so sure about that. Again, needs more testing, but I guess it's fine that it's there, but it could be another level 8 synchro, level 10 synchro, or whatever. So the Lubellion package, again, fantastic. Like, as you saw at YCS Bologna, a potential dark matchup, you have a good matchup against those, again, because of the Bestials. Like, look at this, I get Dim Buried twice for Exceed and Synchros. It's fine though, because I still have JD as a big beat stick, even though if this would not have been game, again, I would have been able to go for Masquerina, IP Little Knight during their turn, and it's still in this situation, it's where the fusion comes into play. Because it's basically a JD, but it's also a quick effect, so it works during their turn as well. So, and again, like the thought process of using Little Knight and Baron first, Little Knight banish itself, banish your own Baron to reset its effect. You don't have a field, maybe even only the fusion banishes everything. And then, if your opponent ends their turn, you're milling 4 with the fusion, and then, Little Knight and Baron return. So in most situations, that's basically game. But the thing is that I don't think that field is your game plan, right? Your primary game plan. So Dispater, Baron, IP, definitely, always, not that hard. but I'm not so sure about the fusion. So yeah, last example, but again, it almost feels pretty much always the same. So Minerva again, like mill 3, maybe draw a couple of cards, insane. Oh, it's silly. It kind of feels silly. And of course, you know, the Truisworm interaction during their turn, you know, with Magnamut being able to search Truisworm, send it to the graveyard for Little Knight Link Summon, yeah. It basically means just more interruptions. So it's kind of like 6 support, but it kind of struggles a little bit going second. That of course some multi-end hand traps could stop you in your tracks, but you know, suggestions are definitely welcome. Kind of depends, Zombie Vampire as well, iffy, not so sure about that Zombie Vampire, but again, giving your opponent those mills, sometimes it pays off and sometimes that feels super awkward. So, you know, suggestions are welcome. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Big signing out. Peace.